Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Lexus CT200, and it's the luxury model. This particular car, if I can get onto it a second, bear with me, is registered LN14JUJ and with a mileage of 47,795 miles. The reason we do these videos, all of them, is very simple. It's basically so that if anyone's looking at any of our cars online in the adverts, they actually get to see the very car advertised in operation. The reason we think it's important is because, unfortunately, we know to our cost just how frustrating it can be to go and see a car which can look fine in the photographs and in the description given, but only to get there and find out when you drive it, it's got a fundamental issue which shows up whilst test driving the car. So that's why we do it. It's also done on part of the road test route anyone would go on. The reason we do that is so then it hopefully be representative of what you'd feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. So coming to the car itself, clearly it's been a very, very well maintained car with all of its servicing apart from the very last one which we've just done, having been conducted by the Lexus main dealers, and it feels like it. It's incredibly tight and fresh to drive. Hybrid system starts with a push of a button. Generally it starts in what I call quiet mode, so basically just on the battery. Occasionally the engine kicks in straight away, but that's, you know, it all operates exactly as it should. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. The hybrid system is obviously incredibly well proven, as Lexus like to refer to it these days as a sort of self-charging hybrid. Basically that means you don't have to plug the thing in. I'll wait for this chap to come through. So you can't, run out of electricity. You can only run out of fuel should you choose to push it that far. But it's just a brilliant system. What I love about it, from an engineering point of view, is the interaction as it goes along, because it's almost imperceptible. It's absolute genius what they've done to make these things work. And it's, robust is not good enough, because they are incredibly tough and long lasting, which is why so many sort of taxi firms, because this is used in other Lexus and Toyota product. I remember going on holiday to Cos last year, and the local taxi was a Toyota, which uses exactly one of these, the powertrain from this, and that done over 500,000 miles. They'd never touched it, so it just shows how strong these things can be. In conjunction with the engine and gearbox, is the gearbox. On the hybrids, Lexus uses Cvt Gearbox, and wisely so, because what it gives you is a wonderfully seamless power delivery. So you put your foot down, it's almost like an electric car, because you just put your foot down and go. There's no gear changes, you can't feel anything at all. It's just brilliantly smooth. The engine can be operated in a couple of modes. It normally starts in eco mode or normal or whatever you want to call it. If you just twist this to the right, puts it into sport mode, and immediately you feel the difference in the throttle response, and also you get this lovely dash changes completely. So instead of the power meter, you get a rev counter, more conventional, very sporty dash with the red hue. Absolutely stunning, but all absolutely perfect. Steering on the car, really nice on these cars. It's pretty quick, you don't have to move them much to go around the corner. You've got a lovely steering wheel to hold as well. Feels brilliant, very direct, very accurate. If you enjoy your driving, it is a thoroughly enjoyable car to drive. It also feels, just as I said, it's so tight on the road. There's no vibrations from the steering wheel at the speed or any speed up to the legal limit. It also happens to track absolutely dead straight. So all absolutely spot on there. Chassis of the vehicle, again, it's got a very compliant ride. Damping's really nice on the car. but it goes through corners really, really well. It's got a kind of flow about the chassis, which it's quite a kind of sophisticated design. So it's not an out-and-out sports car. There's no point pretending it is. But what it is one that responds really, really nicely to input. And for most people, it'll be, unless you want to go sort of track racing with it. But through the corners, body control's really good. As I said, it's got a sort of bite to the chassis, which I really like. Brakes on the car, make sure no one's behind me. I'm going to give them a bit of a shove. But it's a nice, solid brake pedal on the car. And again, what I'm looking for with the brakes is that there shouldn't be any kind of pulsing or vibrations, and there are none at all. And obviously they should bite well, and they do. Worth pointing out, that's going to be checked as part of an MOT, which the car will be going through hopefully in the next couple of days or so. Also, with the chassis, by the way, I should have pointed out that what I'm listing for on road test, and the bump, which is why I've reminded myself, this one just coming up there, which is horrible. If there's any kind of chatterings or knocking noises, it would show itself, but there's nothing at all. It's just very, very taut. Coming inside the car, it's a lovely place to sit. It's a wonderful interior on these cars, beautifully made, no squeaks, no rattles, nothing at all. It's a just fabulously manufactured car, but also just a lovely place to sit. It really is. This dash design, because I did quite a long video not so long ago on one of them, and I still can't put my finger on why it feels so nice. But maybe it's the labelling of the switch gear, the quality of the switch gear, the way it kind of wraps around you, but not in a cliched way, because it really does. It's got that, you feel sort of sat inside it, and you've got all these little buttons, almost like you're at an operating station. Just really brilliantly done, I have to say. Because it's different to most cars, it just feels special inside it, which is the best way to describe it, I guess. Steering wheels are brilliant. They've got thick rimmed, leather bound, feel absolutely brilliant in hand. And it's all been kept very well indeed in here as well, I must say. As I said at the start of the video, it's only brief, but the point of it is just to sort of pick up on any issues, no matter how minor. There's nothing at all. It drives absolutely perfectly. As always though, if you've got any questions, don't hesitate, do give us a call.